Heyo and welcome in today. Today you're joined by me, Daniel, and we are drawing this cute pumpkin here. It goes off the theme of Halloween again, although it is a little bit past Halloween. However, I did see this image on Pixabay.com and I was like, I have to draw this. This is cute, it's interesting, it's a nice little kind of cute little pumpkin kind of looking thing. He has a cute kind of face, and I just thought it would be cool to draw and try and attempt to paint this. For this image here, I just focused in on drawing this character mainly. I was just trying to get the face right and everything, and it was very challenging here, as you can see, just to fit things in. And get everything looking right. Obviously, placement is off if I was to kind of draw it in the scene, draw it as I see it. But I was mainly focused on trying to capture this pumpkin, this looking, and yeah, get the whole body shape and everything correct as much as I can. It was very challenging trying to get those curves right on the pumpkin, trying to get kind of it looking tall, because it does look like a little bit tall and kind of wide but not too wide. Just trying to fit it in, and then placing the eyes, putting them in the right place, and having like enough forehead. It was very challenging, and there were things I could have used a little bit better, I guess, like using measurements maybe to fix those things up, where the eye sits and things like that, like drawing a face. If you just try and guess where the eyes go versus, actually kind of breaking the face down into, a line for, say, I use a line here to kind of get where the eyes go. But just break it up into like thirds or something, just to help me out a little bit better. I think I could have done that a little bit more. I do try my best with that, and I'm using some lines and shapes here to try and help me to fix that shape up. And from here, I'm shading it basically. Yeah, I usually from here I might go into color, usually just to vaguely start in color and start kind of shading in color. But I decided I needed to kind of fix up the drawing a little bit more, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll kind of shade it in some grays here, and from here I can try to get the proportions a little bit better from here. I think that kind of worked a little bit better than just kind of coloring it and kind of fixing up as I go. Because that way I kind of place color in there a little bit, and I fix up the drawing from there, kind of fade it all back, and then slowly kind of fix up the whole shape again. But here, yeah, I did do black and white and shaped it up a little bit better. Obviously, having different parts and things, like the eyes, fixing up the eyes, but everything is kind of related to each other, if that makes sense. For instance, the size of the eyes is depends on the size of the pumpkin. Just finding all those relationships can really help. The size of the nose compared to the size of the eyes. Just using all that really does help to kind of bring it together and help to fix these things. For me, yeah, I do have to have a few things there to start, fixing up these relationships and these sizings and roundness and everything. It slowly does help from here. And once, I had a kind of a good enough shape from here, I was like, oh yeah, it's shading mode now, basically. It's full shading mode, not just like using grays to help me kind of decide the shape and kind of fix that up. From here is kind of is shading, so this is kind of what happens when I'm adding color. So it's like from this point I could add color, you know. And there are a few things in here that are easier with color. For instance, like his right eye has a bit of blue around it from either candle or light that's hitting his face there. A bit of blueness coming. I'm not sure, where that's coming from. But there's a bit of blue light on his right eye there. Now that's hard, and I've tried to do it here. It's hard to kind of portray that in a grayscale. I guess it's kind of darker, even though it looks lighter in blue. It's kind of darker, kind of a color, kind of maybe a little bit more saturated than the rest of the pumpkin there. It is, it's easier to do. You could just use the blue and be like, it makes it easier. But you could do it in grayscale, but it's a little bit harder, to portray and to get that those tones right, so that it does look different tones to some of the rest of it, so it makes sense, that pops out. That is one thing that pops out definitely with the color. But yeah, it was a fun, interesting process. Here I just slap a color layer on top and use orange to paint it, just to, go from what I've got to color it a little bit, and then I'll go straight to that blue little patch in his eye that I want to get out of the way. So yeah, and then from there I go into actually painting with color. I just, basically dirty tricks, dirty color there, just slapping in a quick overlay of paint. It's nothing perfect. It just kind of keeps the work I have done, with all my tones, and slaps it into color very quickly. And that is, an alright method. It's not the most perfect method, and you can get to work very well where if you have a really good grayscale and it's completely correct and everything like that, you can really use that color layer to turn it to color with might take a few adjustments, not just slap on the color layer. There might take a few more adjustments from that, like a few more layers and a few more color layers or things like that, a few little tricks. But it can work very well if you go from grayscale and then slap some color on top. Obviously a bit better in doing it, but it can work that way. But yeah, I do enjoy painting color. I feel maybe my orange is not so as orange as this image here, but yeah, just try to figure out how to, how orange is it, how yellow is it, trying to figure out that kind of nice color. And some of the color is changing a little bit, like in the top half of that pumpkin is definitely a lot less saturated, less orange in there, more orange towards the bottom. So trying to figure that out. And then there's also that highlight at the top, with the yellow kind of coming in there. So that, and very, very bright eyes, hollow eyes. And yeah, it's all these little things that were very challenging with just painting this little guy here. It's kind of good that I just focused in and really try to take my time and understanding what's going on in this character in this lighting situation. It'd be fun to take it into another lighting situation, maybe the same kind of character, and really maybe put him in a dark situation, or maybe a sunny day. This here it's nighttime, but it's listen up, so it's an interesting scene. I think this is something that has helped me with light and color a little bit better. But it's one in the many steps to go with improving my light and color and that kind of thing. So it's been a fun 90-minute art challenge, and hopefully you've enjoyed seeing me create it. Keep drawing, keep creating, and see you in the next video.